So thank you all for joining us today. Today being the 12th day of the month of September 2025, we're having our second lesson for the online session of the Tyap Wiki Bootcamp 2025, the season 2 of our program. So Mjad Konyan, Angam Mambayho, Afunka Znanya Kyawa nazo kunyani Hinjangamu na Ujuku Nazuku Tung Aji. So I don't know, should I hand over the mic to Kuyet to make an introduction, and then I will come later and take over the lesson. Thank you very much. Bye.
Okay, come by. Thank you. So go
Eh,
ahead. So, so what Kamba was trying to say in Tia was that what's a thing in a mobile? Zumboga by a phone. Was the yeah, some kind of Zukutani,
to-
Nina Swagnani.
ni-
So, I'm going to. Oh, okay, actually, so I'm quite young, right? So, thank you very much, Kamba. So, welcome everyone. So, Kamba have open the introduction. Today is our second online session for the Tiabuki Bootcamp Season 2. For those of us who are just joining in for this particular one for the first time, about the do and don'ts of writing in Tiap. So, this is why we are here having this session this evening, and we welcome each and every one of you. My name is Kuyet, and I'm the co organizer for this program. And today we'll be taking us through some of the slides, basically all that we need to know as it concern the, the program, that's the Wiki Bootcamp. So today we'll be looking at, sorry, my network is a bit slow. Okay, today we'll continue our session on the guide to learn and to read and write in TIAP. So this session is a short transition literacy course for beginners who are the TIAP speakers. They will be taking us all through this so that we will learn the right orthography and what we need to know when it comes to contributing in developing the TIAP language on Wikipedia and other online platforms. So that is why we are here today. And today is just going to be the number two, the second day. And after today, we'll be having the in-person session by tomorrow. So without wasting much of our time, I don't think it is necessary for us to have introduction because it seems the house is is all familiar faces I can see here. We are all familiar with each other. So I just want to welcome us specially, and we'll just go straight into the session for the day. And I will hand over the microphone to come by to take us through the session. And we hope we will have a very good and a smooth ride tonight. So when you have a question, please put it down. At the end of the session, we will respond to questions. So from me to you, I say thank you, and please sit tight as I hand over the microphone back to Kambai. Kambai,
So thank you very much, Kuyet. Once again, welcome all of you, Fonye, Mumbai, and for those of us who don't understand here, well, what I just said is you are welcome. So I'll just share my screen. So someone was asking a password. There's no password. There's no password um, to this very program. There's no password to any of our um, our outreach dashboard or anything.
it is an open
So I
call,
don't.
so anyone can
Yeah,
join.
it's an open call. Yeah. So if you're interested in knowing something about here, please join up. Yeah, thank you. So I'll just share my screen right now. And before that. All right, let me just share the screen, and then I'll go over to the last lesson that we did, because there was an assignment and I have not seen any update from any of us yet. But then if you open to this very link to our program, the Tyap Wiki Bootcamp Season 2, you are going to see that we had a lesson on the 15th of August 2025, and here are the slides right here. By the time you click open this very slide and you scroll down to the pages towards the end, you are going to see two assignments that were given to us. And if you were present in the last bootcamp, in the last session, you are going to be you're going to understand. Even though the network had a challenge and I was cut off the call before I could reach that very portion of the assignment, but I think if you were able to click open this very slide, you should be able to have seen this on slide 16. So this is it. This is it. The assignment says define 5 characteristics of a good orthography. And then the first characteristic is accuracy. The second one is consistency. The third one is convenience. The fourth one is acceptability. And then the fifth one is conformity. And then the second part of it says that you should take a look at the archaic script and learn to draw each of its letters. So if you read everything that we have in this very introductory lesson, I'm sure you must have seen um, uh, the part that was dealing with examples of characteristics of an effective orthography. Here we were only giving examples in comparison with the English language and the Tyap language, and then the definitions of these 5 effective characteristics of these 5 characteristics of an effective orthography were not actually given to us, and that was the little work that we are asked to go and do. And we were told that the Tyap language actually uses the Latin script, just like the English language. And but then we have a new script that was introduced um, for maybe the future writing of the Tyap language, and it will be good that as a community we learn how to actually write with this very script. It's quite, well, I would say it is easy, but then for people who are seeing it newly, they may see it kind of something new, but nothing is unlearnable. If you learn it, you are going to know it. So the few ones that we have here, they are just about is it 24 or thereabout. Please do your best to learn them and be familiar with them. And if you have any question, we have a WhatsApp group, and it's good that you join the WhatsApp group. That's I don't know, is the group for the selected people alone or for everyone, but it's good that we actually do help ourselves out in that very group. If you have a question, go to that very group, and you have anything that you need clarification on, please go there. So I don't know. Let me just throw the mic open. Is there anybody who has done their own assignment yet? Has anyone done their assignment yet? Please on your mic and respond. Has anyone done his or her assignment yet?
Not yet.
So 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 we had about 3 weeks, close to 4 weeks, and at the end of the day, if we are actually asked that are we have we studied TIAP or not, you say you studied TIAP, but then you were given assignments and you have not been able to do it for 3 weeks. We have 3 weekends, and today is the beginning of another weekend, and no one has been able to do. But we know that if we are to pay school fees and we are to go to school, we are going to be giving assignments, and if you don't do the assignments, you get either you get flopped, or maybe you get zero. So if it is a higher institution, probably may not be zero.
Carry over.
I mean, may not be.
Carry.
You may get a carryover, yes. So
Yeah.
you may get a zero in your assignment, but then you are not taking this one serious because maybe is it because it is free, you didn't pay anything. That's why it is very easy not to do. Or should we begin to charge you for school fees? Then you begin to do your assignment. Hmm. So probably we will begin to charge you from next year. Maybe that's what you want. But for those of us who were present, even those who were not present last week or the last lesson, the last session, please, it is a simple one. Just go and do the assignment for the very last, the first class that we did online, and then this one also has an assignment. It is always there on our project page. When you need it, it is there forever. We will not delete it. It is on Commons. So please click open that very page and then do your assignment. So I would share my screen again, and then I'll go over to this work. And those of us who are also here, you can be able to join that very this very lesson, by clicking on the link. All you need to do is to go to our homepage, the homepage for the program. That's the Tyap Wikimedia Bootcamp, Tyap Wiki Bootcamp. If you are thinking of how do I get across, maybe you are watching this online, and you are actually thinking about how to navigate the whole thing, just go to your Google account, type Tyap Wikimedia, and then you click on the Tyap Wikimedians User Group, and then you go to project events and meetups, and then you go down, you scroll down to Tyap Wiki Bootcamp Season 2. You see the timeline, the time span for our event is from August to December, and then you are right here. Once you are here, you are going to see the different roles that we have here. The very first one is the Friday event we had on the 15th of August online, and of course you see the recording is here, and the document. Once you click on this very document, you'll be able to access that last assignment we did on page 16, on slide 16. And then online, in person, we had this very event. We recorded them here, and you can click on any of them, and then you see the programs that we had. And today's work, today being the 12th day of September 2025, this is what we are doing currently. So when you click on this very view slides, you are going to see this very clearly. You are going to see the slides we are going to use today, or we are just about to start using. So if you permit me, I'll just go over to a place where I'll be able to render this very page in such a way that it will be very large for us all to see. So I'll just go straight to slide show, and then I hope it is very clear to all of us. Are we seeing it very clearly now?
Yes, it's very clear.
Okay. Okay. So thank you very much. So this is a guide to learn how to read and write Tyap. This is a short transition literacy course for beginners. And today being Friday, 15, the 12th day of September 2025, we're having our second online lesson. So what is phonetics? This is the second lesson, so that's why we're having 2.0, and last one was an introductory lesson we had, but this one is the very first actual lesson we're going to have, and it's going to be on phonetics. And before I actually ask what phonetics is, I can see that there are five gentle creatures here. This young man hitting his chain, and this dog doesn't want anyone to ask him that very question because obviously he doesn't seem to know it. And this philosopher, he's standing on top of the question mark, and my little bird is actually thinking he's a philosopher at the moment, and the cat is just all over. I don't know, man. So, what is phonetics? And our slide is saying that phonetics is the study of speech sounds, as simple as that. So when you have speech sound, like that's what people speak, is known as speech. But every sound that they make, like what I am making right now, it is the study of it is called phonetics. And in this very lesson, we are going to study all the types of the unique sounds made in a language and how they are represented or written, and then how those sounds are produced and their characteristics, which in turn can be classified into different categories. So we're going to look at the characteristics and then the classification of these sounds. Now, what are speech sounds? Speech sounds are the sounds that people make when they speak. Now, such sounds can be represented by a symbol, and a few examples are given here. If you look at my humble table consisting of two columns and four rows, you are going to see in the first column sound is phonetically or it's linguistically called phoneme, and then we have three examples here, and then we have a symbol which is grammatical or rather linguistically called grapheme. So the phoneme is the sound you listen, that unit of sound, and then the grapheme is the unit of symbol that you have representing that very phoneme. Here we have letter B. It is pronounced B, and then it is represented by this symbol which we know as B. And then we have A is represented by this very humble letter called letter A in English. This is letter B in English, but the sound that letter produces is B. And then letter A produces the sound A. And then letter G produces the sound G. So we have different letters in every language. They may have their own names like B, A, G, D in English, or like B, A, G, D, F in Tyap, or like Ba, A, Ga, Cha in Hausa. So every language has a way they call, and if you go to the Greek language, they will not call this B, they call this beta or theta, and then they call this one alpha, and then they call this one um, uh, is it gamma? And you go to Hebrew, the same thing, they call this Beth, and they call this Aleph, and then they call this Gimel. But all these letters that are representing these symbols or represented by these symbols all have the same phoneme or similar phonemes. B, A, G. So I hope that one is clear to us and we're not confused about it. So how are sounds produced? You can see this diagram is explaining to us what we have here by the left hand side. So sounds are actually produced from the lungs. Everything starts from the lungs. By the time you breathe in, and then your chest or your lungs are compressed or they are inflated, they become big. By the time you begin to exhale, you begin to push out the air from your lungs. You see that the air is being pushed through your windpipe or your trachea You can see the lungs are here represented, and this is the airflow, and the trachea is your windpipe, which is in your throat, and then it goes through the vocal cords. The vocal cords, the vocal cords are a kind of specialized organs that are in your throat there that helps to produce the sounds that we listen or that we hear from individuals. And then from the vocal cords, it goes to the oral passage. The oral passage consists of the tongue, the mouth cavity, the teeth, and all this, the lips and your nose, all of them. And then the entire thing, the air then passes over to the lips and then the nostrils. So if you are producing nasal sounds like N, that's or they all pass through your nose. And then if you are producing other sounds, they pass through your mouth. So that's the reason why you can say mm, even without opening your mouth, and you still have sounds produced. And then if you want to pronounce B and you close your nose, you cannot be able to pronounce that very B or P or Phi. And then everything actually is, all the air that is passed from your lungs. Sorry, can someone mute? It's as if someone is having their mic on. So all the air that goes out from your lungs to your vocal cords and then to your mouth cavity, everything is, the sounds that we listen to, they are all created by the contraction and relaxation of the muscles around that cavity area. So when some parts of that very system, I'll call it maybe a sound system, when some part of it are enlarged and some part of it are relaxed, you see that the sounds are changed. And then at the end of the day we have different sounds, because or for example, when you want to pronounce words that have W in them, then that means you have to put your lips in such a way that your lips would be open, and then when you want to pronounce words that have letter Y, like palatal words, then you make use of the roof of your tongue, or I mean the roof of, I don't know, the junction around the vocal cords. Maybe we'll get to that so I don't spoil the enjoyment. So we have some characteristics and classification of speech. Now, based on the air that passes, we have two types of vowels. I mean, two types of speech sounds. There are those that are actually produced when you are speaking, and there's no limitation, there's no barrier. Those ones are called the vowels. And then you have those ones that there are some kind of barriers. I don't know whether it's roadblock. I don't know if it is army or it is navy or if it is police, Nigerian police that set that one. But those kind of roadblocks to air or to sounds, they are called consonants. But the ones that are, the sounds pass like there's no roadblock, as if you are traveling from Kaduna to Zaria. Those ones are vowels. Yes. So what are vowels? Yes. So Friday, Kuret, you want to say something?
Yeah, yeah. Just continue. Just continue.
Okay. Or should we have a smiling break?
Yeah, I can actually have a laughing break.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Our 2 second, 3 second smiling break is finished. So
All right.
vowels. Yes. So we call vowels in Tyap Wikimedians. So vowels are actually speech sounds that are produced by relatively free flow of air from the lungs to the mouth. There's no contraction, there's no police on the way. It's just like Kaduna to Zaria Highway, no roadblock. And the vowels are further classified into some certain categories. The very first one, they are called short monophthongs of basic vowels. And amongst them we have a, we have we have a, we have e, we have o, we have u, we have depending on what language you speak. Like Tiap has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We have we have that's the I with an underscore. The Hausa only has about 5 of these, and English language has more than this. English language has about 20 vowel sounds. And then we have long monophthong sounds. The long monophthong sounds are just the double part of, I mean, the double counterparts of these very basic vowel sounds. You don't just say ah, but you just say ah, but you say ah. You don't just say but you say You don't just say a, but you say a. You don't just say e, but you say e. And not just o, but you say o, and not just u. You say oo. So it's like you're extending it further than usual. And then you have diphthongs. Diphthongs are when you have one of these short monophthong sound combining with another one. So if you combine a and you are going to have a. When you have a and e, you are going to have something like a. I don't know. It depends on the language. So, like from the examples we have, this is a and e together they form I. E and a together they form ear. A and u they form ow. And u produces o. A and e produces a. O and e produces oi, and then a and a produces air. So you see, I'm not pronouncing this one as as ai, or ia, or au, or a underline u. A underline u. Because those A, B, C, D, they are just names of these very symbols. But the actual sounds, the phonemes, are the ones that we actually use for speech. Okay? So we have the next page, a continuation. Speech sounds produced by some or are produced by some restrictions of air through the mouth. Okay, sorry about that. I'm actually talking about the consonants. So we are done with the vowels. We have three classifications of vowels, and now we have the consonants. The consonants are called rga in Tyap. They are called rga because there are some limitations. They have some barrier when you are producing those sounds. They don't flow as smooth as we have the vowel sounds produced. These ones are just like those roadblock when you are traveling from Kaduna to Fantuan, for example, or the same place as Kafancha. You know the impediments you are going to have. You are going to meet. If you don't meet police roadblock, you are going to meet army checkpoint or air force checkpoint or navy checkpoint. And if you don't meet any of those ones, you are going to meet bumps, or you are going to meet potholes. So those ones are the consonants. You are going to have different types of impediments on the way. So consonants are also produced, can also be classified rather according to the way they are produced. The first one, we have monographs. Remember, from the very beginning, we have something called grapheme. The grapheme is the representation of the phoneme, which is the sound. So that's the reason why we are calling this one now monograph. Graph means to write in Greek, writing something, right? So we have monograph. Mono is just one. So we have B, we have C, we have D, we have E, we have G up to Z. You can see them individually appearing. They are not appearing in doubles or in triples. They are appearing singly. And then we have digraphs. Digraphs, they occur in two. C and H will produce chi. G and B produces B or ba or b. And then G and H, like in Tyap, produces ra, ra. K and P in Tyap produces pa. S and H produces sha. T and S produces tsa. P and H in English produces fa. In Tyap, P and H doesn't occur at all. But then we have most of these combinations in Tyap as digraphs. And then we have long nasal consonant sounds. Earlier on, I said that nasal sounds are those ones that are produced with your nose. Even if you close your lips together and your nose is open, you can be able to produce those sounds, like letter M here and letter N, and then the ng sound, which is not written here because it is contained within this letter N. Later we'll deal with that. So when you elongate letter M, then we are not going to only have we are going to have mm. Remember again, these are the symbols which are called graphemes. B, C, D, A, F, G, like in the Tyap naming. And then you also have the phoneme, the sound they produce. B, ch, d, f, g, h, j, k, l, m, n. Those are the sounds. Now, by the time you combine two of those sounds, especially the ones that you can produce them by closing your mouth and leaving only your nose, then you are going to have the long nasal sounds like mm, then like king in English language, or nga in Tiap, like uprooting something from the ground. Nga. And then we have labialized consonant sounds. The labialized consonant sounds are actually the monographs or the pure consonant sounds, so to say, because not all of them are actually pure. The ones that are followed by a letter W. So when you have B and then you have W, that's a labialized consonant sound. So you pronounce it as B instead of B. You pronounce this FW as F instead of F. You pronounce GHW as H instead of R. You pronounce MW as M instead of M. You pronounce KHW as H instead of H. And then PW as P instead of P. And then YW as U instead of Y. And then we have the palatalized consonant sounds. These are the consonant sounds that are followed by letter Y. Probably some of us must have noticed this, but we really not have not took account of it, you know, in terms of this classification. But please take note of them. So when we have letter B and then letter Y, that is B, and then Y, that gives you B instead of B. And then you have Ch and Y, that gives you Ch. B and Y, that's GB and Y, B and Y, that give you B. And then H and Y, or letter H and letter Y, or in Tiap, he and ye, that gives you here. The same thing, here instead of ba. And then we have here instead of k, and then tia instead of t. And then we have the palate labial consonant sounds, those ones that are followed by YW. So you have duo, not just the, not just dear, not just duo, but duo, duo. And then you have Q, you have Liu, then you have Mu, even though this one seems to be kind of off, but we will explain it in subsequent lessons. And then you have Tu, Tu, TYW, not just T, but Tu. So consonants may be nasal, they may be labial, they may be dental, they may be plosives, they may be voiced, they may be voiceless, they may be fricatives, they may be affricates, I don't know, fricatives and affricates somehow the same, but I don't know. Maybe linguists amongst us would educate us more on that. So we can actually classify consonant sounds into many classifications. Remember, this is just an introductory course to TIAP, learning to read and write, and we're not going deep, like really deep into the whole thing. So this is just to introduce us, and then you can now go and make further studies on these ones that we're introducing you to, so that you get to know much more. So now we are in alphabet. But before then, can someone tell me what a consonant is, and can someone else tell me what a vowel is? The mic is yours, students. Please, what's a consonant and what is a vowel? So I'll stop sharing for some time, and then someone would give me the definition. What is a consonant and what is a vowel from what you have heard thus far? Anyone?
A vowel is a speech sound that is produced freely.
Okay. So just like you are traveling from Kaduna to Zaria, Abi,
Yes.
Yes.
and then a consonant. Who can
Zaria
give
Road.
us a definition of a consonant? Who can give us a definition of a consonant? Thank you, Sakwe. Who can?
A consonant is a sound that produced with that has some restriction. There is no free flow
Okay,
of air from the lungs.
okay,
And
okay. So
in
there are
TIAP we
some.
call it a graph.
Okay, okay, okay. So you have been following very well. So thank you very much, Dr. Rokundi. So the vowels are like Kaduna Zaria Road, and then the consonants are like Zaria
Kaduna
Phantom Road
Phantom.
or
Yes.
Kaduna Kavachan Road. Abi?
Uh, yes.
So that's a very good example. So thank you very much. So I'm going to share my screen again, and then we're going to continue from alphabet. So hopefully we're going to do as quick as possible, then we close early because we didn't start quite early. That's why we are where we are currently. So I'm trying to go back to where I came from. That okay, I remember where I came from. So what is an alphabet? What does the word alphabet mean? The word alphabet comes from the first and second letters of the Greek alphabet, alpha and beta. Even though the Greeks may call it beta, but then in English it is called beta. So when they combine alpha and beta, they got the name for the English word alphabet or alpha beta. Maybe in Tiap, if we never had a name for alphabet, maybe since we call letter A as A and letter B as B, maybe we'll call it Adi, probably. We'll call it Abi. But in Hausa, I'm aware the Hausa call it Abacha da. So they go to the extent of joining letter A, B, C, and D and calling it Abacha da. But in Tiap, we have a separate name for it, and we're going to know what name we call it in Tiap. But the English call it alphabet or alpha beta. And there are thousands of languages in the world, at least 7,000 languages spoken by human beings all over the world, natural and artificial. Now, each of these very languages has sounds that are common or they may be common with other languages, and sometimes those languages have unique sounds that are not present in some other languages. For example, if you give a letter, if you give a word like ba, GAB, to someone from England, the person may not be able to pronounce that GBA because GBA in the English language will be pronounced like gba, gba. Meanwhile, to the tap speaker, that is a very easy thing to do. Ba. The same thing you give the Hausa person GBA, GBA. A Hausa person may not be able to pronounce GBA. Instead, the sound you are going to get is gua, not ba, because GB, a combination GB cannot happen in the Hausa language. So you have gua instead of ba, and then the Englishman pronounces it as gba. So these are unique sounds that are unique to some languages, and some other languages don't have them. Like the th sound, th, Tiap doesn't have it, so the Tiap person or the Tiap speaking person will pronounce th as ta instead of tha because it is absent in the language. So ideally, each sound should be represented by a single symbol. Ideally, but it doesn't really happen that way. So in many written languages, this is not usually the case. So the list of symbols may prove way too long for convenience, because if we are actually to represent all the sounds of a language using unique symbols, we are going to have so much, because some languages have more sounds than some other languages. So let's look at the first type of alphabet we have on our list. We are going to look at three of them before we call it a day. The first one is the International Phonetic Alphabet, otherwise known as IPA. So the International Phonetic Symbol, or the IPA symbols, are used for writing all human languages. These very IPA symbols represent all the sounds of the languages with unique symbols, regardless of what orthography or script they use. And these IPA symbols are actually derived uniquely or largely from the Latin script and the Greek script, even though there are some new constructions that are not present in either of them, like this one you are seeing that looks like an E inversed. And then the IPA symbols are usually enclosed in between two forward slashes or square brackets. So you may see them inside these symbols, or you may see them inside this one. And in this very table, we have a figure showing us the Tyap vowels in IPA, which you can find on Wikipedia. This is E, and this is E, this is U, this is A, this is O, this is and this is A. E, A, E, O, U, O, A. So it depends on which part of the mouth that these sounds are produced, whether it is front closed or close mid front, or central mid, or back open. They are represented all here in the IPA rendition. And then we also have this table showing us the consonant sounds. But then these are not the entire consonant sounds in the Tyap language. These are just like the non-labialized, non-palatal, or non-palate labial sounds. So like letter W, letter M, it also has labial, the ones that you combine with W, like mwok, like mumwang. And then you have the ones that are combined with letter Y, like miam to learn, like mia to lie. And then letter N also has its own combinations, like okay, I can't think of one now. The letter P also has PW, it has PY, B has BW, BY, F has FW, it doesn't have FY, no. That doesn't happen in Tyap. You have F and you have Y, no, it doesn't happen. And then V and Y don't happen also in Tyap. So we only have VW, FW, no FY, no FW, no VW. And then this one also only has combination with W, like one U, NWAN, one singular U. But it doesn't combine. Okay, it combines with Y. That's why we have this, but it's going to give you a unique sound. Nya, not nia, but nya. So we have TW, we have TY in Tyap, and then we have TYW. And then we have DW, we have DY, we have DYW in Tyap here. The same thing with, we have TS, that this is T, but then we have TSW, but we don't have TSY. We have Z, Z. It's usually written Z, just pure Z, but it's usually pronounced DZ, like za, rain. So we have DZ, and we have ZW, but we don't have ZY. The same thing with S, we have SW, but we don't have SY in Tyap. The same thing with L, we have LY, we have LYW, and we don't have LW, even though there are some issues with this one in the some text that we have currently. And then we have the same thing similar here. This is cha, this is ja, cha, ja. We have chi, CW, we have CY, we have we have JW, we don't have JY in here. This is sha, this is ja, sha, ja. One is voiceless, one is voiced. Sha is voiceless, but ja is voiced. Cha is voiceless, ja is voiced. Tsa is voiceless, za is voiced. Ta is voiceless, da is voiced, pa is voiceless, ba is voiced, fa is voiceless, va is voiced. The same thing with shear is voiceless, jia is voiced. Then you have tia, ty, and then we have kh, you have gh, you have k, we have g. So this is voiceless, this is voiceless, voice. We have na, we have here, ghy, we have hua, ghw, we have ba, we have ba. Voiceless, voice, we have ha, we have hua, and then we have wa, hw, then we have ya. This is y. Some of us are seeing j here, and they would think that this is ja. This is not ja. This is the ja. This is the ya. Then you have the ra, we have the la, va, fa, ba, pa, ba, ma, na, nya, nga, ng, ny, n, m, p, b, t, d, cha. Tsa, za, ts, z, or dz. So I'm sure somebody must have gotten something from this very one. But in case you need more, please replay this video. Thank you. So the next alphabet we're going to look at is the English alphabet. English language has 44 sounds or phonemes that have been so far identified in the English language. And these very 44 include 20 vowel sounds and 24 consonant sounds. Now, all these are represented by only 26 symbols individually. That is, like as letter A, letter B, letter C, letter D, up to Z, or in clusters. In clusters mean you have more than one. For example, you have CH, which gives you the cha sound. Sometimes it will give you the ka sound, like in mechanic, ka, like in chair, to give you the chair. Then you have the sh sound, SH, like in should, or like in shoulder. And then you have the th sound, TH, like in sometimes the th, sometimes the, like thou, or like thing. English has other combinations like this. And then we have these 26 symbols actually have given names, and they are commonly referred to as letters. So this one has a name, and the name of this one is called A. This one has a name, and its name is B. This one has a name, and its name is C. Like that, like that, like that, for all the 26 letters of the English alphabet. So this one is waiting for us to see what next. So enough of the English language. Let's go back home to the Tyap language. So this is the road to Tyap language, and this man recognizes it as, yes, these people are about to leave England to Tyapiland. So we have the Tyap alphabet. Yeah, very necessary. So we have the Tyap alphabet, and in Tyap it is called the Zunzuolium Tyap. So there are many sounds or ngungwat which have been identified in the Tyap language, and for me, I have actually counted them both pure sounds, palatalized, labialized, palate labial, all of them to be above 100, over 100 sounds in Tyap. But then all of these sounds, both vowels and consonant sounds, can be represented by only 24 letters of the Tyap alphabet. Imagine this about 106 or 108 sounds being represented by only 24 letters. Now, these 24 letters can be combined in clusters of two. For example, GB produces the sound ba, and then KH produces the sound ha, and then we have others, and then we have them in threes. For example, KHW produces the sound hua, and then TSW produces the sound swa, and so on and so forth. And then in here we also have them in fours. We have GHYU. Of course, you are seeing U there, but it's actually supposed to be WU. So this one will give you you, and then we have JHUYU, and this is giving us you. Like if you want to say jour, the Tyap word for the Ju language, you say jour. So I only need to add O, and it gives me jour. So this is the ja, and then the palatal ja is the reason why we're having Y, and then the U or W now gives us the ju sound. Now, all these combinations, you can see four letters combining to form one sound in Tyap. And then this Tyap alphabet has all the sounds of the English language except Q and X. Let's just wind back to this very IPA. Some of us are seeing letter X here. I don't know if there's Q, but there's letter X. And then some of us are hearing that Tyap language has all the sounds in the English, but there does not have the Q and X, but you can see X in the table. That's the reason. The reason is because the IPA actually makes use of different letters to represent specific sounds. And X, even though in English it may be pronounced as x, 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 or x. For example, the word example, 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 that's like GZ. Meanwhile, if you say explain, it sounds like K and X, K and S, x, instead of z. So that's in the English language, but phonetically in the IPA rendition, this X later, this X symbol produces the h sound, h, KH in Tyap. Tyap is written KH. But this very kind of K, this special kind of K is not kind of present in Tyap. It may be found, but then it's not really recognized officially, quote and unquote. So the Tyap alphabet is the same thing as the English alphabet, basic alphabet, but then there are no Q and X. So we have the names of the Tyap alphabet, and then we have alphabetical letters, and then we have the IPA renditions. And I'll read this one just once, and then I would like all of us to read this. We are 7 minutes ahead of time, but I think this very lesson is very important, and that's the reason why most of us have sacrificed our time to be here. So I would urge us to all please exercise patience, and we'll soon be done with this lesson, and then we'll go home filled with new things that we have learned. So I will read them once, and then I'll on the mic so that all of us will read it all together. So this is A, A in Tyap, and this is the IPA rendition. This is B, or let me just call it the Tyap way instead of the Anglican way. So this is A, B, Chi, D, A, Fi, Gi, He, E, G, Ki, Li, Mi, Ni, O, P, Ri, Si, Ti, U, V, Wu, Yi, Z, or Z. So I don't think it is difficult. So I would want all of you to unmute, and then we'll read it all together. Are we ready? Are we ready?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So let me share the screen again. So I'll count in Tiap, Anyum, Ofeang, Atat, Go. Ah, E, She, Zi, E, I, as if I'm hearing, as if I'm Should we go once again, and we should continue? Okay. Should we go once again, or should I continue?
Yeah. Should we take it one again? One more time?
Okay, let's do it
Yeah.
one more time.
Ah,
A, D, sorry, Z. Okay, clap. When we reached the knee, I was saying,
with the way some people are saying it remind me of those of J movie where they watch. I'm just hearing some sound echoing. I was like,
I was saying,
you know, now your J movie.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I believe some of us will not reach letter G one time again, and then we'll call it G, like English language. This is the G, this is G. All right. So thank you for participating. So the next one is for us to actually take notes of. Thank you. So we should take note of this specific, very important point. The very first one says earlier, the ch sound, ch, in Tyap was represented by the digraph ch, ch. Today we use the monograph s, letter ch, is still the same ch. So please don't be confused. Both the ch and the c are still the same sound, ch, in Tyap. So in other words, some people, if you write letter chat, which is chat, the word for love in Tyap, they will say chat. But since the H was deleted, when they see CAT and it is a Tyap word, they recognize that, but then they begin to say cat. It's not cat. Tyap orthography now renders the ch sound as only letter C without the H. The reason being that we no more we don't really need a H to letter C because C itself is not representing any sound. So why are you now having CH instead of just C? So the Hausa language was actually initially having CH to represent the cheer sound, this very cheer sound. But later on, after the 1930s, 1950s, Hausa, I think in the 1950s or so, changed from CH, this digraph, to this monograph, CH. I mean, from this CH to letter C. Yoruba doesn't have this CH combination, doesn't have the cheer sound, so Yoruba doesn't have this issue. And the Igala language, your knowledge of the Tyap language. So let's go back to our live stream, our lesson for today. So the Shu language, which is the closest relative to Tyap, also uses only this monograph C instead of this digraph to represent the Chia sound. The same thing with the Berom language. Berom uses just the letter C to represent the Chia sound. The Hiam language also uses letter C instead of Chi or CH to represent the Chia sound. The same thing with Kutep, and I think similarly with Jukun, and similarly with many languages around the Middle Beltan area of Nigeria. I don't know about Bole. El Hussein, I don't know if Bole uses letter C or letter CH, but I think the Bole language has the cha sound, if I'm not mistaken. So they are all the same sounds whenever you are dealing with the Tyap language and you encounter letter C or letter CH, please pronounce it as the cha, cha. It does no difference whether C with a H or C without a H. Then also earlier on, the basic alphabetical chart of Tyap had 39 consonants consisting of monographs, digraphs, and trigraphs, just as we saw earlier on. These are digraphs when you have two clusters of two, and then we have clusters of three. These are trigraphs, and then clusters of four. These are quadrigraphs, and so on and so forth. Pentagraphs, nonographs, and so on and so forth. There are many. Today we have just about 24 monographs to represent the basic alphabetical chart. Before we used to have the A, E, B, C, D, F, G, B, H, Hu, Hi, Hi, I, G, J, K, B, L, M, N, 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 O, P, R, C, Sh, T, T, U, V, Y, D. There are 39. Maybe I
connected.
Bluetooth connected. So we have today just 24, which is the ABD, oh sorry, ABCD, AFG, EGK, Limini, OP, RCC, sorry, Nushi, TT, UV, Z. There are 24 to make it very easy. And then other sounds in the Tyap language that are contained within those 24 letters, they also include these ones that are below. So you may just see 24 letters. That doesn't mean that we don't have other sounds. Like letter A has in it another sound after the R sound. We also have the sound. It is written A, but with an underline. You can see a short diacritic. Whenever you have something attached to a symbol, a character, an alphabetical symbol, either above or below, it is called a diacritic in the linguistic register. So in the Tyap language, we usually use this underscore diacritic, and the same thing with ju, the same thing with hiam, to represent the This is just like you say about in the English language. That in the about is the same sound as the a underline in Tyap. The Hausa language also had the same thing, and I believe the Bole also had the same thing. Even Yoruba also has the same, just that in Yoruba it is just written as A without any, like Ibadan, for example, even though it is the labialized or the nasalized sound, but you find it in Ibadan, in the Yoruba language. You find it, I don't know about Idoma, I don't know about Igala, but you find it in many other languages around the Middle Belt and many parts of Nigeria. And then you have the B sound. The B is a digraph. A monograph is just a single entity. A digraph is a combination of two symbols or two monographs. So this gba sound is placed under the letter G or G. So gba is produced by pronouncing b, but with your nose. In fact, it's like pronouncing letter G, but with your lips closed. So I think for those of us who may be listening to this video, especially those of us from Europe or from America, and you are finding it difficult to pronounce this GB combination, or even those who actually speak the Hausa language and don't speak any Niger Congo language, like in Bole language, which I think doesn't have this bass sound. If you have been wondering how do you pronounce this GB combination, just try to pronounce letter G but with your lips closed. Like g, but close your lips, b, and then just release the whole thing, and you have the bass sound done. And then the GH is just like you want to spew something from your, you know, like Maghreb in the Arabic language, Maghreb, that sound is there, like Gaddafi, the former leader of the Libyan um, Republic. Is also found in the Tyap language, but the English language doesn't seem to have it, even though you have GH, but it is pronounced F in English, like laugh, 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 but it's pronounced in Tyap. And then we have the that I with with a cancel at the middle of it is pronounced and in you is written you with an underscore, and Tiap is pronounced is written I with an underscore. It is actually part of the letter I. The R is placed under letter G. The B is placed under letter G also, and then the is placed under letter A, and then we have another sound J, like pleasure in English, pleasure. That J sound is represented with JH in Tiap. J. Some other languages they represent it with ZH, like Hiam. For example, they represent it with ZH and Perum, and other languages uh, like Latin, like Russian language written in Latin alphabet is written with ZH, but in Tiap it is written JH. But then something unique about this J sound in Tiap is that it's usually not pronounced Ja. It's always pronounced Ja. It usually accompanied by a Y sound. That's why it is usually written like this. It is very unique. For example, to repair something is J in Tiap. So you only have to add a letter I to have J to repair. But then in Ju, I think it is G. If I'm wrong, Achokari Rokundi would give me a correction. But then in Phantom, which I'm very sure of, Phantom doesn't have this G sound. It is pronounced G. It's just G. That G sound is missing. So, but in Tiap, G, that's why we are having a Y, I mean a H in between. So for those of us who have been trying to pronounce words that have this JHY combination, and you have been saying Jihir, 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 stop it now. Just like those Nollywood movies that will tell you, watch it now. Now we are saying stop it now. So it's not Jihir, it's Shi. And those ones that are pronouncing it as gbang, instead of bang you say gbang. Stop it now. It is bang, not gbang. And for our Hausa speakers, they will say guang is not it's not guang, is bang. And for those of us who have G in our names, like
like
not Kadong,
like like guaca.
like Guakap, like Guakap, and then you go and put GHW instead of GW. You know what you are writing. It is Guakap, not Guakap. Once you add a H after a G, you have another sound. Let's go to the next page. You see the brothers and the sisters. So you have KP, which is pronounced Pa, KP. But just try to pronounce K, you just try to pronounce P, but with your lips closed. K. Oh, no, try to pronounce K, but with your lips closed. It's like you want to say K, but you just close your lips intentionally, and then you open your lips with the air force. Pa, pa. It's very easy to pronounce actually. Pa. And this pa sound is placed under letter K. And then we have nga. It is written ng, but it's pronounced nga. So some words you see nga, it is not nga in Tyap, it is nga. Nga, not nga. If it is nga, it will be ngga. Thank you. So it will be ngga. Ng, then g, then a. Nga. But when you have nga and then you have a, it is nga, not nga. And this nga sound is placed under letter N. And then you have the NY combination, and it is pronounced nya, nya. I don't want to say it because we are online. But I don't know, you must have heard nya nya before. I don't know, Tanzanians like to pronounce that other one, but I will not pronounce it here. But we have a place called Nyanya in the FCT, close to Abuja. So Nyanya is written Nyaa, Nyanya. It is Nya and Nya. So you can see the symbol is different from Nga. This hook is at the back, but Nya, the hook is at the front, Nya. And it is not the same sound with N, Na. That is another sound. But then both nga and nya, they are all under letter N. And then we have SH, that is sha, is represented by this sound symbol, this IPA symbol, sha. For example, shan, sheer. And then we have TS, tsa, tsa. I can hear some people, they want to speak Tyap, and they want to pronounce the word Tyap, but they will say Tyap. If you want to write that in the Tyap language, it will be TSYAP, and we don't have such a combination in Tyap, TSY. We only have TSW, which is true, like in tree or tree, true, but we don't have T. So we only have TY. Anything that sounds like an S at the end after T, it is written TS, and we have many words under this sound, like ta to start something, or a tan, the beginning of something. And then there's something unique about this letter Z. It is a monograph, yes, but it produces two sounds, both the za and the za sound. So we are still finding what the issue is. Is it an issue of dialects, or is it that it is a different sound in the Tyap language that we have not yet discovered? We are still trying to discover that, just like Mungo Park discover River Niger. So we are just close to, let's say we are close to Bida. Yes, we are close to Bida, but we'll soon reach Jeba. When we reach Jeba, now we'll discover River Niger. So we will soon discover that. But then we have words like za, rain, but then we will have other words like, let's say zam, which is monkey. Well, probably there are different sounds, but we'll discover that. And then we'll have the digraph, which some people actually think it is another sound entirely, but then it's not really a pure sound. It seems to be a labialized form of the nga. By the time you combine this nga and wa, that will give you mwa. Nga and wa will give you mwa. But somebody will say, why are you not writing ngw? Well, the orthography was just arranged like that so that we have NW instead of NGW as one. And words like that include one U or one NWUAN, one to watch. We have many words under this one sound. So that's the end of our lesson for today. So let's pause here, and our lesson is going to be on the 3rd of October. The next lesson is going to be on the 3rd of October 2025. But then before we go forward, I would like to ask somebody a question. How many letters do we have in the Tyap basic alphabetical chart? How many letters? Remember, in the English language alphabetical chart, we have 24 basic sounds, even though English has about 44 both consonants and vowel sounds, but then only 24 are represented. Only 26 are represented in the basic alphabetical chart of the English language. So in Tiap, how many are represented in the basic alphabetical chart? And earlier on, I said we have close to about so somebody's on the mic. I will stop sharing and then ask and give the mic to somebody who wants to answer. So how many do we have? Is someone speaking?
24.
24. So without going to and fro, he's correct. So let's give him a clap. So you are correct. We have 24 letters, but then we have up to about so and so, and I mentioned it earlier also. Can somebody tell us how many we have, like when you combine all the palatal, the labialized, the palate labial, all of them? How many do we have approximately? I said it earlier on. So can someone tell us how many? Uh,
39.
well, previously we had in the basic chart 39, but we have about 108 or thereabout. There are many, but they are all reduced into 24. So let me just share the screen and then we end this very session. So, so the next slide shows us something very important, which is the assignment. For our assignment, for each of the letters of the Tyap language, we have 24 letters. Please write out 2 Tyap words containing those letters in them. I will give you an expo. For letter A or A, write 2 words like aben. We have A sound, both forms of A or both forms of letter A are contained in that very. You can choose a word that has only one form of it in it, but give 2 examples and please submit the assignments on that very group, in that very WhatsApp group. And then number 2 says give 2 Tyap words containing each of the following special sounds represented by these graphemes: b, r, j, h, b, nga, mwa, ni, shi, and ts. We have many words containing these very special sounds. So you have to give only 2 examples from all of them. And if you do this assignment, trust me, you'll be very happy with yourself that you have done something. And those of us who have kids at home, yeah, thank you. So those of us who have kids at home, That could be your first lesson. As you make that, you teach these young children how to pronounce them, and you teach them how these words are pronounced from the lesson we had today. You can replay this video. That's why we have it on YouTube, and you can listen to the sounds again. And if you have any doubts, please come tomorrow to number AX1 Aliyu Makama Road, by Narai Junction, Banawa, Kaduna, Nigeria, in person. So we have a saying which states that if you talk to a man in a language he understands, that goes to his head. He understands or she understands. And if you talk to that same person, he or she, in his or her mother tongue, in his or her language, that goes straight to his heart or her heart. And who said this? Nelson Mandela actually said this, I think around 1995, on Mother Tongue's Day or so. And so it all depends on that very person. Some people, even if you speak in their mother tongue, it may not go straight to their heart because they are not proud of that very language that they speak. But then there's another saying, there's another statement for such people. If you prioritize, or if your priority is to learn to speak, to read, and to write in other people's languages and not in your own mother tongue, not in your own language, maybe you should think again. Oh, maybe you should think again. And this one is coming from yours faithfully. So, for those of us who are actually looking at the English language as a superior language, please think again, because the English language have their own language, and that is their identity. They have no any other language, and they speak that language with pride. The same thing with the Hausa people. They speak their language with pride, and they are proud of their identity. So, for those of us who speak Tiab, and we are not proud of the Tiab language that we speak, well, maybe you should think again. If your language dies, who speaks it? You want to speak, you want to learn, you want to read and write German, you want to speak and write Russian, Spanish, you want to look like an educated fellow. Well, that's good, but then you can't even read, you can't even write, you can't even speak your own language. Maybe you should think again. So this is it for today. Why? Thank you. And if you have anything you are in need of, maybe you want something that should be you want to be put through, please contact Kuyet, or go straight and scan this very QR code, or click on this very link. This very document is present on our page on Meta Wiki, so you can always find these documents till thy kingdom come. So we are not going to delete it. It's there on Wikimedia Commons. Please go and find it. Thank you very much. I'm going to stop sharing, and this is all for now. Thank you, Ngwai. I'll hand over the mic now to Kuyet.
Okay, come by. Thank you so very much. And I think we in today's session, it seems all of us are learners on this particular one, because I get to learn quite a number of things that I was a little bit confused about. But now, to tell you that learning, as far as knowledge is concerned, nobody is a monopoly of knowledge. We keep learning every day, and for all of us on the call, this is a very big opportunity for us, and I believe we have learned a thing or two. Even for those of us who are not TAP speakers, by virtue of what you have learned here, you're beginning to have idea of the orthography or how this language is being rendered. I can see our new language person who is the naturally. Well, I don't want to talk much. So you are welcome. And from what
I'm
you
so
have seen
not
here now, I believe,
sweet.
yeah, of course, I believe you have
At least I
learned a thing
know
or
the
two.
good.
Yeah. That's a consonant. Yeah, that's a nice one. That's a nice one. So on this end, sincerely, we wish to appreciate each and every one of us. And again, I don't know, maybe the timing is a bit stretched, but with this, uh, there's something we are going to do at least to balance up our time and others. But then they said to whom much is given, much is expected. So this is how it's going to happen. For those of us who look at the assignment again, once you complete your assignment, submit it to the group, and you're going to have your data reimbursed. Once you complete your assignment, drop it on the group, and then we are going to have your data reimbursed. So I think this is going to be a fair one for all of us, so that all our work whatsoever we have started, let us see how we can complete them. Then we'll have our data reimbursed. If you have any challenge, just as Kamba has said, please do well to reach out to us either on the group or there's a number on the slide. Just chat that number and then somebody will respond to you. So at this point, I don't know if there's any question, but before then, if you have a question, remember for those of us who are the selected participant for the bootcamp, tomorrow is our day. We are meeting tomorrow by 9:30, and our daddy Killer is ready, and I expect all of us to appear in our uniform, the boot camp uniform. If you like, use your own. Go and harvest cassava in the farm. We'll catch you tomorrow. So, and for those of us, I have been seeing a lot of us. As a matter of fact, I don't want to mention name. I was walking somewhere around. No, I don't want to mention location. No, somewhere within Kaduna. So I saw the clothes. Somebody wore it and walking with he or her shoulder very high. I said, oh, that's nice. So I was just waiting tomorrow. Let me see if that uniform will start fading. Then I'll ask the person how manage. Maybe the person will be sitting in Kekere farm tomorrow. For those of us who know what Kekere farm is, if you don't know, come tomorrow and ask in person, then we'll respond to you. So thank you so very much. And at this point, I would like to open the mic. If any of us have a question, please do well to drop your question now so we can respond to them quickly before we go. Remember, finish your assignment, submit on the group, and have your data reimbursed. Over to us. Any question, please? At this point, it is either we all understand it very well or we all understand it very well. So let me just leave it like that. So I want to believe we understand it. Because as for me, I think I've understood. I've understood. So, Kamba, I just want to let you know,
Yeah.
maybe when you are rendering your IPA in the Bangsang and if you are
Mm.
seeing some of the IPA just keep coming, no, it is me, either me or WhatsApp, because I can see the way WhatsApp face is listening. he have learned, he have learned that one very well too. So, thank you
It
very much,
was
Kamba.
necessary.
So,
Yeah.
I'm
yes,
telling
thank
you,
you very much.
I'm a new student now.
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah.
it's quite
So, please,
necessary. Mm.
yeah. So, any question? Any question before we wrap up? So it seems there's no
Uh,
question. At this point, come by any final words.
So for those of us who actually have not registered, I can see only three people have registered their presence in the dashboard. Please click on this very dashboard. I'll show us again by sharing my screen. Please click on the link in in the chat and then go over to this very top portion and then you see register. My own is not showing register, but in your own it will show register here. So just click on that register and then let's keep the number going up. So we'll meet tomorrow for those of us who are around Kaduna, and even for those of us who are not selected and you are around Kaduna and you want to learn something, fine. Come and then we have a very good day learning the Tyap language. So thank you very much
Thank you.
for being
Thank you
here
very much,
from
Kamba.
the beginning
So
to the very end. Ngwai, Ngwai.
But I thought that.
Why?
To,
yes,
Why?
thank you very much.
Bye.
Yeah,
to,
thank you. Yeah,
gotta choose it.
Why?
To not try. To, yung pagkamba.
so kufanan,
So,
yeah.
to,
Yeah, so
we'll
for
see
our
you
new
tomorrow.
learners, if for our new learners who are here, which I don't think any new learner is here,
Yes, it's only,
okay. So we'll meet tomorrow. We'll meet tomorrow.
yeah.
So let's just
So
leave it
see
like
you
that.
tomorrow.
So thank you very
Fungvanu.
much. I'll